Hey there, Cassie Brown.
Hey, Miss Rhonda Melody.
It doesn't sound right. We've even had this conversation because I'm like, why can I just not call you Cassie? I mean, sometimes I do, but most of the time, I don't know. It's like you're rock star. But when you say Rhonda Melody, no, I think we just need to like Rhonda. Help me, Rhonda. Rhonda, we're good. I do
Well,
not.
hold on. I'm gonna go a little step further. Hey, hot mama.
Oh,
That one lands.
so if you're not over on YouTube and saw my face go from what it was to what she said with Hot Mama, then you need to hop over there because that was funny. So Hot Mama, what are we talking about today?
We are talking about different is okay. Leveraging your onlyness factor, uncovering your superpower, and putting more of your personality back into your business and your brand. Right. And honestly, I didn't even plan on Hot Mama opening up the segue for that, but like that is exactly what we were able to do because the Hot Mama version of your personality is absolute fire. So I know you have your notes and I know you're steering this ship on where you want to go, but do we want to close the loop on the Hot Mama experience and let them know like where that even came from? And I feel like when you embrace that and it was unleashed, that it elevated the bridge to like your superpower. Am I wrong?
Well, so here goes. I had a birthday. We were together, and I think we've opened this loop several times. So our company together is Hot Mama Enterprises. That is who we are. That's who we've registered as. And we have pictures from the very beginning of Hot Mama. And I had a birthday. And so we were together, had a birthday, and at the time we were traveling.
That's okay. That's okay. Is that Phil or Jack?
Hold on just a second.
Okay.
Dang it, Zoom. Where do you want me to pick up? I don't know how to, buddy. Where do you want me to pick up?
We were traveling together, right? That's where you stopped.
Okay.
Hold on, you were uncomfortable and you were laughing too.
So we were traveling together and I had a birthday and it wasn't like a monumental birthday. I've already had a monumental birthday, but so we were traveling together and we had done this event and we were at an Airbnb and we had everybody over for dinner. And when you have everybody over for dinner, what do you get? What did we get, Cassie Brown?
We ordered pizza.
We ordered pizza. Well, I should say Cassie and the crew ordered pizza. What I did not know is the name that they had listed under, like when you go pick up your pizza, like when you walk in and there's a teenager right behind the counter and you're like, who are you here for? Whatever. And so someone carted me over because we didn't have a car. Someone carted me over and we go over and like walk into the store. And with like the straightest face possible, I mean, look at me with the straightest face possible. They're like, who are you here to pick up for? And I'm like, Hot Mama. And so we have pictures and they put that on the pizza box. They did the order of the pizza under Hot Mama. And so we had like, I don't know, 10 boxes of pizzas, all of them Hot Mama, Hot Mama, Hot Mama. I mean, what are these teenagers even thinking with Hot Mama, right? And so
they're thinking, I hope I'm that cool when I'm her age.
Which it's advanced maternal age. We never reveal how it's not proper to ask a lady her age, right? So that's how Hot Mama, I mean, we're talking onlyness factor. It doesn't get any better than Hot Mama, right?
Yeah. So Rhonda totally embraced that identity. And so everything that we started doing was in fun, right? 100% fun gets to be included. And so I feel like it unlocked like different layers of Rhonda's personality when she stepped into Hot Mama, right? She's Hot Mama 1, I'm Hot Mama 2. Why? Because there's only one original Hot Mama, right? But together we are Hot Mamas. And it's just so much fun. So this episode is going to help you put that under a microscope for you and your life and your business, right? What do you want more of? What do you want less of? Where is your personality entering into the equation? And I'm going to tell you right now, if that question spurs some of this inner dialogue where it's like, I don't know if I can do that. I hope no one ever realizes 1, 2, 3 about me. Like, that is exactly where you need to go, and fast.
I think embracing that, I mean, people giggle like when they're on with us, and, our email is hello@partnerwithhotmama.com. And so when people realize the name of our company, they giggle, and the barriers or the boundaries that they've put up for themselves in this exchange, right? It's like, oh my gosh, what am I getting ready to get into? It almost brings that. It's a unique customer experience that only hot mamas like us, only hot mamas can share. And it was interesting in a conversation that we were having with a potential member, they had been a part of other programs before. And the question comes up. Well, this question comes up, and it triggers a couple of things. One, how are you different? And it also triggers for Cassie in the subsequent conversations that we've had. She's like, we'll say it like, you're not going to chase someone, right? They need to match your energy, right? We're not going to, if you get into the convincing game and the stack of what it is that you have to offer, then there's another question there behind all of that, another insecurity that's behind all of that, right? And when it came to the loneliness factor, I didn't know how to answer it. In the beginning, I had no idea how to answer that. But that conversation made me think, like, what is our onlyness factor? What is the only thing that we can do? Because immediately you start going to people you look up to, or people who are in the online space. And you start thinking about all of the things that they're doing and how they're sharing content and how they're implementing in their business. And then, oh my God, I can't compare to that. I can't do that. That's where it goes. Part of that conversation and the onlyness factor was that, and Hot Mama, that's why she's telling you the story, is that it's our customer experience and how we don't pass you off. When you work with us, you work with us. We know stuff about your life because you let us know that. We know stuff about your kids because you share that with us, because that's the lifestyle. You want to build a lifestyle really first, and your business around that. And so our onlyness factor is that we work with you, like we have conversations with you. And it's really, I almost want to say it's something that, I mean, we are working through that right now, right? We're working through that when we're talking about our website copy. We work through that every conversation that we have. But when we have the right person in front of us and we have conversations, because we just had this yesterday, we just brought on a new member yesterday.
Whoop, whoop.
And what did she say? Because I shared with you the email that she wrote. Share with
that.
everyone.
Yeah, that was the sweetest email. It was like, I was probably your easiest sell ever, which we never, ever categorize anything. Like, we are having conversations to serve, and we can serve where people are at. That's great. If we can see opportunities where we can accelerate growth and like we are both excited about it, that's where we are a great fit. And, it was interesting because it had dawned on her, I didn't even ask you for a huge stack of deliverables. And it's interesting because she started reflecting on her own sales calls. That's usually where I spend the most time on my sales calls, is going through everything that they're going to get, like all of the how, all of the check marks. And the most beautiful thing about that is, I think that contributes to our onlyness factor, because we're willing to not only have our system that helps the foundation, that accelerates the growth, that looks at these milestones and these KPIs that we honestly need to be hitting.
Right.
but there's enough organic room to have open and honest conversations of like what's really below the surface, because a checklist doesn't matter. A tutorial doesn't matter. A how-to 2-hour implementation workshop doesn't matter if I don't get to the root of what's causing the issue in the first place of self-doubt, complication, not being able to risk or fear rejection. Like those are unique custom recipes for each and every individual. And if I was to focus on that on a sales call, it would never end, because the diagnosis is continuous. The minute you fix one thing, you open up opportunities, right, for intimidation in the growth that you're going towards. And uncomfortable is where I am comfortable. That is part of my onlyness factor.
And I've gotten more comfortable. So in that conversation, when we reveal what really is at the root of the friction point, then that's where Cassie steps in with the fire strategy. And then I match that, or try to, with the Tetris-like processes and systems to paint the simplest path forward. And because they have been vulnerable in that moment to share what really is the problem, like, don't we put on this like brave face all the time? Everything's amazing. I'm six-figure lunches. It's like I have a team of 50 and I work 1 day a week. I mean, that's where we're going to, right? That is not the truth. But to pull that mask off and say, dang it, this is the thing that I'm struggling with, and I know I can do it. Please help me. That is the onlyness factor. You're like, well, how can I put my finger on that? When you talk customer experience, and it's your customer experience is going to be 100% unique. That is the one thing that separates you from everything else. If someone is giving you time and money, I just feel like we need to go down this rabbit hole. Just a quick hot minute.
Go there. Go.
All right.
I'll shine the light.
All right. My God.
I'll hold the flashlight. Go, Rhonda.
Yeah. So if the objections are time and money, like we make time for the things that we want to do and we buy things that we want to buy. So in my mind, shut it down. That is not an objection. All right. It's the onlyness factor, how you treat your clients. I don't care if it's a service-based coaching, your program, whatever that looks like. And that onlyness factor can show up before the sale is even made. There are ways to do that. And it most definitely shows up when someone purchases from you and that customer experience. Now, I'm going to say here, I'm going to a little caveat here. Not all of the things need to be implemented all at one time. And I'm also going to say here too, I don't always get this thing right. In my mind, I have an elevated customer experience. But we have been on calls with folks and I'm like, that's not the way I wanted that to work. And it frustrates me. But what does that do? It's an area of opportunity. They called the baby ugly. I'm cool with that. Let me hold your hand and let's get through this. And then that just helps the person after. It's the gift of going second, right?
Right.
And so, I want you to think about how you are presenting yourself on social media. I mean, that's what our billboards are, right? How you're presenting yourself in your email list. I don't care if there's just 10 people. I don't care. There are 10 people that raise their hand and are on your email list. Talk to them. And how are you, whether it's service-based coaching, I don't care. How are you handling that client? Because the onlyness factor, and we just did a previous episode with like the one, impact one, right? You can't impact millions. And quite frankly, I mean, Cassie, I don't think we'll ever be like the Oprah of the internet, right? Impacting millions. That's a great dream to have, and we should reach for it.
Right.
It's almost like the stars that we catch towards that goal.
Yep.
Right. And so, but we can't get there until we really map out and we try our best every single time to elevate that customer experience with us.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you cannot remove the one from 100, from 1,000, from 1 million. It's a requirement. And you become your own bottleneck and roadblock when you overcomplicate where you're limiting not only your superpower, right, but your onlyness factor of your personality and what you bring to the table. So if you find yourself being uncomfortable, publishing a certain way, writing a certain way, having a conversation a certain way, it's because you have given yourself a definition that is outside of who you really are. If you're uncomfortable, it's okay, right? If you're a little shy and like my first few lives online, I was like, hey guys, this is pretty uncomfortable for me, but I am willing to do the work because of what's on the other side of it. The impact that I wanted was greater than the fear that was in front of me. And that's going to be a continuous loop, right? So, but I'm to the point now where I give fear a front row seat. I make sure they're in the passenger seat. And then it's like, hey, I'm going to give you a front row opportunity to watch what I'm about to do. Because when you show up, it means I'm stretching myself. And that wasn't an overnight kind of aha. That was a continual, like, I'm not going to let this stop me. I'm not going to let this stop me. I'm not going to let this stop me. So I know you have something to add, Rhonda, but I also want to talk about Rhonda's holiness factor, because you listening may have picked up on it. She is so gracious and amazing and generous with compliments. And then she's like, and then I just do my stuff. Her stuff is freaking amazing because it's not my superpower. And I get to stay in my superpower because I know Rhonda, she's there with those gears turning and she's putting it into this beautiful little 1, 2, 3, right? So like, it's dynamic. She came out to her presentation on systems to bring in sexy back, people, right? Like, she makes systems simple and sexy. And that is part of her onlyness factor. It's approachable. Right. And so I know she's kind of squirming a little bit because this makes her uncomfortable, but what you are sitting on, not only your onlyness factor, but your superpower is the thing that you diminish the most. And I don't want you to diminish it anymore. So if you're listening, pay attention to where you're like, oh, this old thing, right? Or when someone gives you a compliment and they're like, I can't believe how amazing that. Oh, no. Thank you. Thank you. I love what I do. It lights me up. I love being able to stand in the gap for people in this way. Don't run from it. Don't hide from it. Like, lean into it, step forward and keep going. Lord knows, I don't know what I would do without Rhonda in my life, because systems do not come natural to me. And now I get to stay. And that's the beautiful thing about it. You get to create that for your clients when you own your zone of genius and they come to you and they're like, oh my God, you are such a relief. You are such a welcomed opportunity to work with. Right. And now your personality that you're finally letting the world see is the cherry on top.
So, I mean, in thinking about that, the way that we introduced this episode with Hot Mama, I mean, what other song would I come out to than Bringing Sexy Back? I mean, that just like the two together, you have to laugh at yourself in that way. I mean, for it all to, I mean, you need to be having fun, right? We need to be having fun. And I think for me, as you were like going through all of that, one of the real processes that we are going through right now, that it doesn't have to be perfect, it is unique to you, is our YouTube strategy. We'll call it YouTube strategy, our YouTube content
1.0.
But this is really interesting because one of the things when she was talking about feeling uncomfortable, so Cassie and I, we've done enough lives, we've coached enough where we feel really comfortable on camera. Cue YouTube. I mean, completely like will stop us in our tracks. We ended up coming to when we were traveling, we showed up like 2 days early because we had purchased this YouTube thing and we're going to map out 20 days of content and we're going to record it. And we could map it out. We could SEO that thing. We could write the description. And then, oh my gosh. So the funny part of this is, so everyone knows, if you don't know, like Cassie Brown in a former life was a photographer. And I did not put the two together. So we are sitting there starting to record videos individually at the time. And Cassie's pulling out these ring lights and she's like shifting and moving things. And I'm like, she's really good at that. My God, y'all, she's a photographer. Come on. Read the room, Rhonda, read the room. So anyway, we are going through and we came early and like we're invested. We're doing this. This is on the bucket list, right? And we left that event with zero content recorded. Nothing.
Like
Nothing except what just happened and why did that not happen? And we put it on the back burner, right?
right.
And so, and I think we're going to have Colton. Like I love Colton Haven so much. I love him.
Yeah.
And we were on a call with him. So we're working with Colton. He's in our community and he brought such a joy to doing YouTube. But what he allowed us to do was to have fun and use what we already have. He uses some expletives. I don't know if I typically, that's not a part of my language, but
we've got a lot of clients that use some expletives, but it's like in all the best appropriate ways.
Yeah. Yeah. But, I mean, basically he's just like, make the video. Like make the video. That is the thing that's holding you back. And now what's interesting is that we're starting to publish on YouTube. We're doing it the way that is fun and works for us. And Cassie, we don't have 1 million subscribers yet. In fact, I think most of our videos only have 20 views. So it's not working. It's not going to work. Do you see how unrealistic?
Right.
But to be, and I don't like the word transparent, but just to like open the book. And
you don't like the word transparent because people who say it usually aren't transparent.
Yes, that's Instagram worthy. It's like you see the beautiful house. This was so fun. This opens another loop. Like, you know, like the beautiful doors, right? There was around October, Halloween, you know, the beautiful hello, welcome, and all the pumpkins, and they're all painted. And then they showed like what the reality of like the kids painting like all the pumpkins and they're not lined up correctly. That reality is where we need to stay. And you need to hit it and you need to keep moving forward. Don't stop striving for that Martha Stewart perfectionism. It's going to make you miserable. You're going to hate your business and you're going to get burned out and you're going to stop doing it. And people need you. Boy, I got on a soapbox there.
Oh, I was just like, say it again for louder for the people in the back.
God.
Like, yes.
Yeah. That's what the journey looks like. I mean, hop on over to the YouTube channel. I'm not lying. Like 20 views. It's okay though, because Colton made it fun for us. And by goodness, yeah, I'm going to do it. Because I believe in Colton, because Colton believes in me and he believes in Cassie and he wants to support what it is we're doing. And so I think I had we had one short and it started having it viral. I think we've got like 1,400 views on that one little short.
Yeah. But I will say we are the #1 ranked video, right? So don't downplay here. Rhonda goes downplaying her amazingness again. Our videos are the top ones, like ranked #1 for the topic and the searches. And that's what we want. And I'm going to do a throwback sort of like high five to Impact One, because those 20 people viewing, I'd rather have 20 perfect people in my world to serve than 20 million that is just like noise.
Boom. Drop. I mean, do we need to say anything after that? What is happening to my world right now? And I told Cassie, like in between recordings, like when we have these sessions and we talked to some clients and we're going to talk to some more clients this afternoon, I was like, that's why I'm exhausted. This is why I'm exhausted at the end of the day. You're like, give 100% when you show up. And if you're not exhausted by the end of the day, like you're not in your zone, and we want you to be in that zone. And I really like how Cassie talks about standing in the gap. And I understand, please go watch this video so you can see me say, I understand. it is really hard to discover what that onlyness factor is. But the only way that you're going to discover is if you keep taking steps forward. In my community, in our community, we never say, you cannot say, I'm behind. You're never behind as long as you're taking steps forward. And you just need to believe in that. So.
All right. So deep breath. We're bringing you home, right? And I'm gonna pass Rhonda the baton here to close us out and show us, like, what are those steps to discovering your onlyness factor? Like, what can they do? What are, whether it's 2 major shifts, 3 major shifts, whatever it is, Rhonda. And I want you guys to watch her superpower at work, right? Because she does this for me all the time. Okay, so number 1, what we're going to do is this. Let me tell you, like, I cannot even emphasize enough, like, what a joy it is to get up every single day and work with this woman. It doesn't feel like work. It never feels like work. And that is the business I wanted to build. Exactly is the business that I wanted to build. And that's exactly what we're doing in the lives of our clients. Like, where is it that you want to go? How do you want to show up and serve? What do you need to survive financially? What do you need to feel in your soul for your family, for fulfillment? I haven't even said the word offer yet, have I?
No, I mean, I don't know how I would break that down any simpler than what you just said. I think for me, I didn't see the neon sign that was flashing in front of me. It was a specific workshop that I did for a community that felt overwhelmed. And I did that workshop, and the reaction, it was amazing. I felt wonderful when I got off. The process that I went through to prepare, record, and host, that's exactly what we do now and what I truly enjoy doing. And so many times someone would say, this is the question. And I maybe it's because I didn't want to sound like I was flexing. Maybe that's what it was. How do you get everything done? How do you get everything done? Like, that was constantly a question, whether it was homeschooling, whether it was soccer, whether it was business, whether it was client work or coaching. And to me, I downplayed that. I said, I just do it. And I missed so many opportunities to serve. Out of that workshop, I got my first, which has probably been one of my most impactful, we'll call it a testimonial. And it was Carol Jeffries. And she said, you've literally saved me 5 hours a week. I still didn't get it. I did not get it, even when she said it. And it took me a long time to understand the thing that comes the simplest to me. And it's almost like my lifestyle forced me into this, whether it was my children's consignment sale, whether it was homeschooling 4 kids, Daniel being gone, all of those things. It forced me into running like this. I'm not a drill sergeant. I keep things super simple. I have to, because I can't carry all of those things around in my brain. And when I do, I feel very overwhelmed and I get really tired, and I don't like the way that feels. And so I think for you, to recognize what that onlyness factor is it's not all of the things, it's the one thing. And if you're doing something right now that just doesn't light you up, right? You're doing it for the sake of doing it to run a business. Like, I want to challenge you a little bit to go into, like, the thing that does light you up and the most joy that you get. Like, that's where we need to stay, and to be able to recognize that. And the only way you can do that is taking steps and having conversations. You have to do those things. That's the only way. I realized, like, for a long time, I walked around and I felt like fuzzy brain. I felt very cloudy. I mean, haven't you felt that way, Cassie?
Oh, still sometimes, like, it's a human characteristic where it's like there's decisions to be made. There's ambiguity. There's the unknown and the uncertain. And yeah, I think this was so powerful that you just shared.
I think that, if we were to sit down and I'll do like the famous 10-minute timer, and you were just to write down all of the things that somebody comes to you and asks you for, cross out 2 through 10, and it's your top thing. That's your onlyness factor. And we dismiss it. We don't even recognize it. And if you're like me and you don't like to have the spotlight and you don't like to flex and you don't have to say, look at me, I'm all that in a bag of chips. Just continue to show up and serve and have conversations, and you will attract the right people to you. Your onlyness factor and the way that you talk about it is in your content. It is the way that you show up in social media. Is it beautiful and polished? Or if it's like messy bun, I don't even have a messy bun, but is it messy bun? Here is my post for the day. We can't automate everything, right? And then when someone comes to you and they're starting to work with you, what is that experience like? I used to say with our sale, when we first started, like way back, like Facebook really wasn't even a thing. It was Craigslist. If I could, and we spent so much money on television ads, being in publications, radio spots, like all of those things. I said, if I could put all of our money in Craigslist, I would, because the images were the thing that triggered people to like want to come because we had built it, and it was word of mouth. You can't buy word of mouth. And so really what that onlyness factor is the experience that you give someone, and then they go tell someone, and they go tell someone. And the reason why we say start there, because if you impact there, then you can go to the hundreds if you choose. You can go to the thousands if you choose. And you can strive for the Oprah effect if you choose. But it is your choice. Stop comparing yourself to the top of the hill today.
I don't know that I have anything to add to that magic. That was beautiful. So the only thing that I'm going to end and ask, what is that number one? What is the one thing that people say or comment and ask you all the time, right? What is the underlying problem that really is rooted in? Okay. Mm-hmm. How do you solve it? Mm-hmm. And how are you going to share it?
That's good, Cassie Brown.
Yeah. That's all I got for this episode. I am so excited for the fire that's going to be coming. And we did have noted that we're going to open loop.
Oh, sorry.
Do you want to share, right? Because a lot of what we're talking about here is packaging your onlyness factor and the experience. Rhonda just shared, like at the end of the day, reputation will carry you farther than any paid advertising campaign in the world. There is the grassroots is strong. Personal recommendations, like think about it. You increase your sales potential by 80% when someone personally recommends your product or your service. So when we pay attention to that experience, that is the foundation of customers for life. So we are creating, with Rhonda's genius, Rhonda has contained and organized so many incredible things that you can put into practice in your business. And that's what we're going to be sharing with you coming up in these next few episodes is we have some working titles for it, but I'm excited to get this out there because there's so many people who need it right now. So we're following our own advice. We're going to get it out there. We're going to build it out live. So when you want to polish off your onlyness factor and get people that experience that you want to create with the unique personality that only you can bring to the table, I've got some good news for you. We've got that coming up, and I am just over the moon excited to reveal that soon.
I'm excited too, because we've had a lot of conversations with our customers, and in talking about like where they are with their customer experience, with launching a new product, a lot of the energy and time goes onto the front end, and we hurry up and things are in a dashboard, and to the best of our ability, like we show up and we serve and we give a good customer experience. I think over the past 18 months, that is one thing. Like if we're going to focus on one thing that I have focused on and have just simplified what that process looks like. Because in the initial conversation with one of our customers, they're like, oh my gosh, that's a lot. I hadn't thought about all of that. And then they followed up immediately, but it's good and I need it. And I was like, okay. Didn't mean to overwhelm, but we're practicing what we preach, because we've had this idea and we don't even know the name for it. We've had this idea and we're starting the conversation. Had I never had that conversation with her, I would never know that initial and it's only an hour. It was only an hour, guys, right? I would never know that felt heavy and overwhelming to her. And I'm like, okay, let me edit that. What can I share next? But you would never know that if that conversation hadn't been there. So we 110%, we practice what we preach. So it's coming. Just know we've got you. Boo, we have got you. Because I really think that, and I don't know, maybe it is customers for life. Maybe we call it customers for life. You only need that small network, and that network compounds. It's like our 401k. It compounds over time. And that's where we should focus on. And we've said this before, and I know we've got to go, is that if you focus on your customer success with your superpower, then the revenue, the customers, the business that you want to build, all of that will follow.
Amen. Revenue is created by results. Results drive revenue every single time. So when we identify those key performance indicators, and 9 times out of 10, it's on the human side of things, it changes everything. So with that, I hope you guys are as excited as we are to build this and to roll it out and to give you guys, the upfront sneak peek version along the way as we do it. So until next time, thank you very much. Reply to the emails, subscribe to the podcast, share, open the conversation, and we will see you next time.
Watch us on YouTube. Bye.